Hey guys! So today I'm working with the show Midnight Texas on NBC, and they challenged a group of us to transform ourselves into something supernatural, and right off the bat I thought it sounded like so much fun, so I jumped on board and I decided to create this alien-esque style witch. And this was seriously so much fun to do. It was so fun to be creative for once. So thank you NBC and Midnight Texas for collaborating with me and sponsoring this video. If you guys are interested in this show, it actually airs on Monday at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central on NBC, and the episodes are going to be online the next day. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So as you guys saw at the beginning, I did my eyebrows with a glue stick. I tried to glue them down. It was my first time actually ever trying it. I feel like I need some practice, but I feel like I did pretty good for the first try. And then I went ahead and I wanted to do like a grayish white skin color. So I used a really light foundation and I mixed some blue and black face paint in, just a little tiny bit. And I got this really nice kind of grayish white skin color. And then I went in with like a grayish purple eyeshadow, and I thought this would look really good as the contour color. So I went in my cheekbones and around my hairline, my chin, and then also my nose. I wanted to look really skinny and kind of gaunt, so I decided to go down onto my chest as well, and I did my my collarbone and things like that. And I thought this was a really good base color just to kind of shape my face and make sure everything looked nice and skinny. So I wanted to add some shapes to my forehead, so I went ahead and took that same contour shade and I did these lines down the center of my forehead and then kind of diagonal in. I knew that this wasn't going to be the only shade I was going to use, but I really wanted to use this gray shade as kind of like my base color. And I think it's really important when you do makeup looks like this is to start with a base and just work up from there. Don't get too detailed right off the bat. You want to start off with the shadows and the highlights just like you would with regular makeup. So once I have all the shadows done, I decided to go in with a really shimmery highlighter, and I really wanted to make my skin look ethereal, and I thought this really did the trick. I went ahead and I highlighted my eyelids and between my contours and also my cheekbones, and I just love the way this made my skin look. It just made it look very alien-esque. So this is where I started adding color, and I wanted to add some purples and some blues to this look. So I added some right here at my nose, and then I also did this diagonal shape right up to my temples because that's kind of the shape that I wanted my eyebrows to be in the end. And then I also added it to my lower lash line as well. And then I took some black eyeshadow and I wanted to put this in the crease. And I really wanted my eyes to look almond shaped, but I also wanted them to look like they were being pulled up and back. And I feel like this really gave that alien look that I was going for. And then I took this dark bluish gray kind of purple color that I mixed up in my palette, and I decided to do the eyebrows. And this was actually surprisingly challenging because I've never done eyebrows in this shape before, but I really love how they ended up turning out, and I feel like it's different from anything that I've ever done before. And this really kind of pulled the whole alien look together, and I was really happy with how they turned out. So I went ahead and took the purple eyeshadow again and I put it on the forehead area where I did the contouring earlier. I think it's really important when you do looks like this to layer up the colors. I think it gives it a more organic look, and I just think it gives it some dimension, which I really like. And I also put it on my cheeks as well, and I also added a little bit of blue, which I really wanted to kind of add just some little splotches of color here and there. I kind of feel like this is a little bit like painting, which I really love, so I just added a little bit of blue. And another big tip is to add color to your ears, especially when you're doing a crazy look like this. You don't want to look like you have like alien facial features and then regular human ears, so always add color to your ears, don't forget that. So I added some blue and just kind of blended it all in that area, and just kind of did all that. So I think it turned out really good, and I also added some on my neck as well, just to kind of blend everything together and make myself look blue, purple, and gray all over. And then I added a little bit of purple eyeshadow to the lid as well because I wanted it to be a little bit darker there. And then of course, I went in with my eyeliner, and I did that all off camera just because it's a little bit easier, and you guys have seen me apply eyeliner a million times, so I did that off camera. And then I took this beautiful purple eyeliner and I added these kind of waves. I really like this. I thought it added nice detail to the look, and she's an alien, so you could do whatever you want with an alien, whatever your heart desires, just be creative. So I did that, and I knew I wanted to add one more thing, and that was white dots. And I love this because it adds texture, and I really wanted to add some sort of texture to this look, maybe like scales or something. I don't know what it would be, but I really loved the look of these dots, and I think it added a lot to the look. And I just kind of did them randomly wherever I thought they looked good. But that is basically it for the face and the eyes. So I feel like I really got my alien vibes going on in this look, but I really wanted to bring the witch vibes in. So I took my black lipstick, which I think did the trick, and I wanted to also add gradient. And I think the best way to add gradient, or at least make a really smooth gradient, is to bring in eyeshadow. So I took that same purple eyeshadow and I put that in the center of my lips and blended it out with my finger. And I really love how this looks. I almost feel like it makes my lips look like they're glowing, which is awesome. And then I also added a blonde wig, which is supposed to be a David Bowie wig, which I think is awesome. And then I also added this moon necklace to my forehead. And then I'm so glad at the very end I added some blush with that purple eyeshadow. Totally tied it all together, and I think it looks really good. So that is it, you guys. I think I hit the nail on the head with the alien witch. I just love how this turned out, and I am so happy with it. So thank you so much for watching. This was super fun to film, and don't forget to subscribe and check out my other social media sites if you guys want to, and I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Bye!